Okay, People Do Nothing, big in Japan. So the first taster that I got for People Do Nothing was in the cinema itself. There was an actual Cineworld produced advert that was played just before any movie started towards the end of last year. It clearly been knocked together in form of like this mockumentary, and yeah, when I saw the guys up on screen in their baseball caps and trackies, I was like, oh god, the classic, yeah mate, look at some TV, all that sort of shit, like, you get me. I cringed. But then my cringe slowly disappeared because the second I set my sights on Allan Mustafa, Hugo Chegwin, and the others, I realised there was something different here. This sort of handful of casually dressed, sloppy guys, they caught my attention immediately. The comedic timing and the uneasy pauses that followed whenever one of them dropped a line, perfect. The characters' slightly deluded outlook, perfect. The topic of conversation that they were having and what they were being asked and how they responded, perfect. The sparkle in their eyes, perfect. So everything was brilliant. I wanted more. And I can honestly say that when I saw People Do Nothing big in Japan, I was hooting and howling constantly throughout. It's like a dry, hysterical mockumentary that follows the corrupt FM boys soon after their days of manning a pirate radio station from their West London flats. One of their songs, their main song that runs as their theme, it's made it big in Japan and it's been used on some sort of game show. So yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. Even I was just singing it over and over again after I'd seen the film and the TV show. Yeah, so they travel to Japan, and it's all about it focuses primarily on their promotion. So they arrive and they undergo rehearsals, photo shoots, etc., leading up to their appearance on this game show that's actually using their song, I think. It's all about the promo, but it's how they react to their environment and their schedule that showcases the perfect, just sublime comedic timing. It's brilliant. Just briefly going back, so apparently People Do Nothing, it began as a collection of online shorts which blew up and became so popular that the boys were contacted by BBC 3, I think, to create a pilot for a TV show, which is excellent. Brilliant. MC Grinder, played by Allan Mustafa, so yeah, that's how it started. So, and it evolved into the TV show eventually, which I have to say is just as good. I'm not going to elaborate on that because I'll be here for hours. So coming back to the film, MC Grinder spends the beginning of the film like an excitable child who's, he's gone on his first holiday. He gets in the car at the airport and sort of honks on the horn. He's like, ha, 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 look at that. Like, it's oh my God, it's so cringe. It's so cringe, but it's brilliant. DJ Beats, Kevin, played by Hugo Chegwin, is on the total other, he's on the other side of the spectrum. He reacts to most of his friends' behaviour with a sort of, side eye to the camera as they're filming. Whereas Steve's, played by Steve Stamp, it would be the understatement of the century to say that he's in a world of his own. He just fucks off into Tokyo to find the nearest weed dealer. The winning element for me is just the whole ridiculousness of it all. The whole film is a perfect blend of slapstick, attitude, and the surreal as well. On the film's opening, Chabuddy G, he's called, played superbly by Asim Chowdhury. He goes and visits MC Grinder, who's now working as a postman, to actually alert him to the fact that their songs made it big in Japan and they're onto them. And there's no sort of process, like Grinder's. There's no process to his reaction. He just pulls the mailbag off full of people's letters, chucks it down, and just legs it. It's utterly bizarre. And I was howling with laughter, and this was only not even a few minutes in. It was probably a minute and a half or something. It's great. It's ridiculous. If you're a fan of the TV series, you will love it. I guarantee. After I saw this at the cinema, I literally went pegging it home and switched BBC iPlayer on because I had to watch people just do nothing. And I spent the next 2 to 3 weeks, because I tried to break it down into 2 eps a night. Spent the next 2 to 3 weeks roaring with laughter at the boys' just absurd sort of daily activities of manning this pirate radio station. They're so desperate to make it big, but they're also slightly delusional. It's just brilliant, and it's so authentic, as well as the characters. So right, the minutes are getting on. I'm going to try and condense my passion. The film is reflective of the TV show. The TV show is reflective of the film. They're both they contain a banging soundtrack, and the characters are just captivating. They're excellent. So a quick breakdown of characters. You've got Mish, girlfriend to MC Grinder, played by Lily Brazier. She's the perfect just wet blanket. He just steps all over her, and the thing is, I can't tell. I haven't looked Lily Brazier up. I haven't been that sort of interested to do so, if you know what I mean. But it's as if the girl, I can't fathom if she's a bad actress or a good actress. Her on-screen presence is so wooden. How she delivers her lines and reacts to certain things, sort of. You'll see what I mean if you watch it. She's got like a slight sort of squint, and she's like, yeah, like, I can't tell. I cannot tell if she's acting and that's her character. She's gone beyond Oscar nomination, I swear to God. But so Mish doesn't fully acknowledge everything around her, which is actually kind of sad, because it shows that she just can't get past MC Grinder's vanity to be seen. So he walks over her. Like I say, I can't tell. There's something. Yeah, I can't. Have a look. Basically, have a look. Ruth Bratt as Roche, who is girlfriend of Kevin, DJ Beats, is absolutely. She's just delightful. She gets in the film. She gets probably less than 2 minutes screen time. But it's the TV show that she's just superb in. Her sort of hesitant responses to Kevin, how she side-eyes the camera, and she's just like, he storms in and he's like, "Oh, babe, we're going to make it big and we're going to be on the front of NME magazine, isn't it?" And she's like, "Oh, all right. Oh, yeah." And she's brilliant. She's incredulous to the whole thing. She's so natural, both as an actor and character. She reminds me just immediately of certain girls that I've known in the past and know now, probably. In fact, I've met people who are just like every single character. Ruth Bratt, it just plays Roche down to a T. She's dry, she's sarcastic. She just tries to separate herself as much as possible. She's the lone voice of sanity amongst the boys as they sort of run around doing their crazy shit. Chabuddy G, Asim Chowdhury, and his dodgy ideas that don't work. He's a con artist, basically. He just spends his life bullshitting people in order to appease them, coming up with all sorts of oddball and wisecrack things just to sort of get around people, as in his trailer full of just odd bits of shit. It's excellent. Now, Allan Mustafa is definitely, he takes over. It's his TV show, basically. The attitude and the image, how he seems to vent constantly outwards instead of actually listening to what people are saying. And when he throws a strop, if he disagrees with something, I've met people just like him. I really have. It's scary how these almost the caricatures face you, but they reflect people that you've come into contact with and you've had to deal with. He's got an air of vulnerability that's thick, but it's cleverly painted over, mainly with bloody, you know, sport gear and baseball caps, really. But yeah, I can't, yeah, I'm not going to elaborate anymore. Sorry, I can't. I'm going to spend too much time. But like I say, I genuinely thought, if I didn't know what was coming, if I hadn't of got a taste of it from the film, and I sat down and watched People Just Do Nothing, the TV show, I would have genuinely mistaken it for a real life, authentic documentary. I really would. They are so good. The actors are so brilliant and spot on. They're excellent. Yeah. So MC Grinder and Roche, even though they're not quite directly connected, those two stand out for me. Like I say, Roche, she carries Roche, I think Beats calls her. She carries that whole image of not giving a shit, but actually she doesn't give a shit. Her boyfriend is wrapped up in his own sort of world of going out to play with the boys, and she's like, oh right, yeah, and she has to endure it. And that's the thing. We've all come into contact with those sorts of people. Well, that's quite that's quite drastic to say. Most of us have come into contact with these people that you see on screen. All right, so yeah. Right, DJ Beats, he just assumes everything he says is interesting or funny and tries to impress people, but ultimately they're not even listening. And Steve's he's thick as shit, basically, but he's adorable. So yeah, I found these people not only relatable, but just incredibly familiar. And the whole thing, how it's filmed, how it was put together, it's brilliantly written, how the actors really embody these characters. I haven't got a bad word to say about it. And I don't usually like stuff like this. I mean, Ali G, you know, Borat, Austin Powers, those sorts. I can't fucking stand those, excuse my language. I absolutely detest characters like that. They're just not funny. Yet there's some people out there who would be like, oh yeah, Ali G, man, Ali G, love Ali G. He's like, yeah, man, he's like my kind of guy. And I'm like, oh, is he? That's good, nice, that's brilliant, well done. But for me, there's no substance. It's just, you can tell it's a guy full on just taking the piss, and there's nothing to it. It's just bare bones. Right, I need to wrap up now. So People Just Do Nothing, the film and the TV show, on a negative, they're definitely not going to be for everyone. Although the humour is spot on and incredibly observant, I think that's the issue. It's so true to life that people are just going to think, oh yeah, well, you get that over in fucking Hounslow, didn't you? So whatever, you know. In addition, the style, so the boys' style, their image, it's definitely not going to be for everyone. Yeah, I can't think of any negatives because I'm so won over by Allan Mustafa and his crowd and what he's done in terms of this incredibly just raw, true, you know, sort of staging of people that you know in real life. And yeah, right, that's it. I'm ending here because yeah, I could go on for hours, as you well know. So right, People Do Nothing, big in Japan. Definitely worth a watch if you're a fan of the TV show, but the series itself is so much better than the movie. Yeah, because with the movie, with all TV series, you've got the whole thing of, you know, the big production studios getting involved, long, massive, great credits and sort of attributes to certain things. Yeah, it's worth a watch if you like the series, but please give the series a go, without a doubt. Okay, right, got to get on to the next one. That's it.